So in, say, any Kabbalistic literature, whether it's the Tanakh of Moses or any book that's been written since, or anything that's been left behind, there's always a system of above and below. And we might read the Torah, the Bible, and we might hear of a person, and this person might have an experience that gives them a realization that adds a spiritual attribute to them. And from below, it'll look a certain way from our world, from what we call corporeality. But if we were able to understand how the force is operating upon us, if we could see it from the level of above, we might have the same object, but just the perception would change. And this is what Kabbalah does. Kabbalah allows us to see from the branch level. We call this the branch level. And we call above, we call this the root level. So this is called the language of branches. And the language of branches unfolds into a system. And the system contains worlds, which have parts of theme in them, which is a face or an image. And within them are further details that we refer to as sephirot. And if we were to look at this system of worlds, we would find that there is an infinite amount of substance. And we call the substance light. And this light comes to us through a series of reductions. If this light is infinite, and it is, we call it Ein Sof for the limitless abundance that it has. And to us, it comes down through a series of what we call worlds. And these worlds are reductions. They go from the finest or most pure level down to the most coarse, or say a thick level. And between the system of above, there is what we call a maxim. I won't be able to see it with this pen, but it's a maxim, or it's a barrier. And this maxim separates where nothing can be sensed of the upper world. And it separates above and below, which would be our world. Hopefully we can all see that. And the system of above and below comes to us. And the first world that we see is the world of Adam Kadmon. Below it is the world of Absolute. And with every reduction, there is a different principle within the world below that's being explained to the developing creature. Below Absolute is Beriah, then comes Yetzirah, and the bottom world, the first world of spirituality from the creature's perspective, is the world of Asiya. And this reduction that comes to our world is only the halfway point. From our world, we have to climb back up. We have to climb from below all the way to infinity, to where there's wholeness, to where everything is complete and perfect. And along this series of development, there's going to be gaps that we have to fill, or attainment that needs to be had. And within each world, the gap that's being filled between light and kli, between pleasure and the need for it, is going to be that much greater, until we bridge the entire gap from above to below. And this comes through a series of steps. And there are 125 steps along the spiritual ladder, 5 worlds with 5 parts Suv. We all have 5 sephirot, 25 steps in each world. And what needs to occur within each world is a series of corrections. And there are 613 tikkuns, corrections, mitzvot, however you want to look at them. And within each world, the intensity of these corrections is going to grow. And within each step of the ladder, these corrections occur. And their intensity is how we can look at them. And to take it and look at it another way, we have a path that we're going on. And we're seemingly developing. And we can look at this from the outside, from the farthest most point. And in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we would call, from the outside, we would call this influenced by surrounding light. And with each degree or step that we take inward, we attain what we refer to as inner light. And we'll begin to understand what these principles mean and how these concepts build. And each one of these attainments or pieces of the puzzle or situations that unfold before us is a step along the path, or it is a tikkun, a correction. Either way, it's taking something from above and internalizing it below. And each one of these remembrances, each one of these spiritual occurrences, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we call these reshimot, meaning a spiritual remembrance. And through learning the wisdom, we try and influence the surrounding light on us so that we can attain the inner qualities that we're trying to develop. So over time, we'll look at each piece of this system and we'll try and explain it further and further. Are there any questions so far?